Anéeka, before you were saying that you were going to leave too, like some other races that have left. When are you going to leave?
We don't have a date, but Alcyone's council has already told Alanin that this ship is now backed by them, as their eyes and ears to see what the rest of the Federation does. We still have work here.
Leave. Another thing, in your interview that we recently uploaded, you said, "I came here to see the ascension from the orbit." But now we understand that it is not really known what the Federation wants for humans. So, when you came here to the orbit, what exactly was the mission? What did they tell you?
I thought I would see an ascension, but now I understand that it was propaganda from the Federation.
But where did this idea of ascension come from? So they make propaganda within their own races that belong to the Federation? For what?
Yes, we were told that, and many races still believe it. We believed it too, until Yaski told us everything.
But for what purpose do they say this?
So we can be here helping them. How? There are many things that each ship does or did. Waking up starseeds. But waking up to what exactly? I really don't know at this point, but obviously it is something that suits the Federation for its agenda. That we awaken people to the reality of ET presence. It is the question for Yaski.
But how does the topic of the galactic energy that makes everything go up in frequency fit in here?
The fact that the center of the galaxy is emitting waves is something that has always been, but it is true that these days it is especially strong, as we have seen and felt from here.
And reactors on the moon failing?
They are, but as Yaski explains, that is inconsequential now. She says it has nothing to do with reactors anymore, that 3D depends only on the perception of people on Earth. Within that place, 3D Earth, the dominant perception frequency is that of ordinary humans. What the Federation wants is to modify the perception of humans to what is convenient for them. It is pretty obvious to me that if they control everything, then they will move things to what they think is best.
One more thing, Anéeka. From your perspective, not Yazdi's Varu, what is liberation now? How do you understand it?
The Federation races working here now, yes, they believe in a liberation and talk among themselves like that. This ship is no longer of the same opinion as before. We no longer see any liberation. We only see that they're changing the dynamics of existence on Earth. That's all.
Exactly. So why do they talk like this among them about liberation?
Because it is useful to manipulate themselves among themselves, perhaps. Or because liberation, or by liberation, they mean taking the Satanists out of control, manifested by humans. That's why the war.
Maybe because it is compartmentalized and some of them really think they are contributing to the liberation. I'm talking about extraterrestrials.
Yes, many do believe that there is liberation, but I am sure it is because what they mean by that is to get the Illuminati Satanist out, free the Earth from those, not from the Federation's influence and control over the Earth.
And who is New World Order? Satanists or the other side?
From what I understand, the NWO is a version that means one government, one religion, in one currency, and it can be seen as negative if it is under the control of the Satanists, or something positive if it is under the control of the Federation. That is, in both cases, there is NWO. For the Federation, and because they say it all the time, the solution to the problems of the Earth is to implement the NWO, one government, one religion, in one currency, because This way, the human clans do not fight one another.
But not under Satanists, yes?
Not under Satanists who want NWO alike, but NWO under Federation. We must also remember that from here 5D, the Federation does not tell us everything. It filters information, and there's a lot of politics too.
But you as a Federation, don't you have the right to all the information, free, by right?
Yes, by right. And that's why Alanim is so angry, and she even moved it to the Council of Alcyone.
And who supervises them, the Federation, apart from the Etheric Federation?
It is a large body that has supervisors, as in specific control bodies, such as internal affairs, only them, and by stepped councils above from wider spatial regions, as it always is. I speak of the 5D Federation. Above, I do not know, only Yasky knows.
You had commented that the Algarthians had problems with reptiles. In what situation are they now? How is their relationship or communication with the Federation now?
They are in contact with the Federation, but they continue with their own problem dynamics, also involving reptiles since they share life and space under Earth. They are known to coordinate directly with the Federation.
Now, how is the regressive reptile situation now due to all this war that is going on in the domes? Are they still allied with the Satanic Cabal faction?
Yes, they are still allied with the regressive Cabal. From below, they control the regressive Cabal itself. When the regressive Cabal falls, it means that they have fallen. It goes hand in hand.
You have explained that reptiles are extracted alive. What do Alpha Dracos do with the reptiles they extract? How do they keep them alive? Where are they taking them? What are the Alpha Dracos involved in right now? How is their relationship with Taygeta?
We know that they take them away. They just say that they're taken to their worlds to community services or to prison based on their crimes. Others say that they take them out of this universe. They do not specify where. Relationship with the Alpha Draco right now is cordial, but only that. They're not in constant contact with Taygeta.
What position do positive reptiles have here? Not only Alpha Dracos, but those on Earth, those that are positive. What are they doing? Where are they?
The positive reptiles themselves are either controlled opposition of the negatives or civil factions of little political power within the reptilian community at large, somewhat like conspiracy followers for humans, but in reptile society. It is the same there. I speak only of positive reptiles on the planet. An example of this is the faction that controls QAnon, Trump, and others of the same line of thought, that we hoped do work or can cause something in favor of humanity.
How are the dumb wars going? Is it true that there are many human and extraterrestrial casualties?
That is being said, that there are many casualties of the Federation and the human military. All I can confirm is the death of an elite Alpha Centauri military operative in Ivory Coast a couple of weeks ago.
How is the Blue Beam project going? They still want to get it started? And if so, how do they want to do it?
We have information by observation and by what other races pass to us that it is at work. Many spirals, cities and clouds, and angels seen in the sky are just that, only blue beam. But since the year began, there has been a lot of traffic of the real Federation ships, secret human ones, and of races called neutrals. Governments use conspiracy theories about the blue beam as cover to discredit real ship traffic.
Taking into account one of the Federation's points of view in which they do not see fit for humans to leave Earth because as creators they would take the Matrix to other places and create their tulpas and egregors in other worlds, putting life in other places at risk. How did the Federation do it in the liberation of Alpha Centauri? How did they get the humans liberated in Phaeton, not to manifest their nightmares?
In itself, the planet of Alpha Centauri Phaeton, today Alphrata, was made up of humans extracted from Earth for thousands of years. So even though it's outside the solar system, the Alphratans' nightmares are human nightmares, the same. Being already a place of open slavery and not manipulated as on Earth, the Federation decided to enter into military liberation directly. They no longer manifested their nightmares under direct Federation guidance, as in giving them other positive options, and teaching them how to control their manifestations. This took several human centuries, and they're still in the process of understanding this and transcending it, which is also why they're the most active race today in the so-called liberation of the Earth, a term already abused by the Federation and with which Taygeta disagrees.
Can you tell us what percentage of humanity is awake? Are we close to 50%?
According to the Federation figures, it is now approaching 51%, but the Engan, Taygeta, Urma, and Solation races doubt that these are true figures, assessing human awakening more at 10%.
Anéeka, could you give some statement about the rocket launch to ISS? Many people ask about that. Although you already told us that it was the theater. It is theater, yes? There is no one on ISS.
What you are told is an official cover for what they're really doing. The launch of satellites en masse to cover the Earth with a 5G signal to control everyone with a chip and other related purposes such as Agenda 30.
Wow, it didn't occur to me. Makes sense. But are you seeing these satellites being installed?
Yes, we are seeing them from here, how they're setting up satellites. They are Elon Musk's SpaceX rockets. It is the Federation itself that is behind those satellites being planted, and that's why they don't want us around. So far, they're basically for 5G transmission.
But didn't you say that they were used for target training for the Federation? That they were shooting at them?
Those that were not under Federation command, yes. These ones not, because they look the other way. Regressive satellites are launched, but there is a war in itself. They also destroyed an Elon Musk rocket. They say it was a failed test. They lie. It was destroyed with payload. The Federation will destroy everything they think it's not convenient, and it will leave whatever they think it is. There is a large-scale war here, high Federation apart, but at lower levels regressive factions, mirrors of the human mind, are fighting with non-human races, between cabals, secret societies, and non-human races. To be specific, an example of war between non-human races at a level below the Federation would be the confrontation that the very secret human organizations that know and control this call as Charistus Anunnaki versus Flash Mater. Charistus is 6D race and above, positive energetics who operate mostly below through positive organic portals. All humans are organic portals, and Anunnaki. They mean the 5D positive races. Taygeta falls under this name here, against the reptiles of Earth and tall greys. We have already said what that already worn out name means, Anunnaki, but here I am talking about how people that know about these things in secret societies on Earth classify us.
You are also organic portals then, right? All biological suits would be 3D or 5D, isn't it? At least that's how I perceive it.
That's right, we all are.
Another thing, in the video you said that the Federation is installed on Earth through secret societies, Illuminati, etc. But it has been said that this is human creation. So who is Illuminati really made of? Of humans only? Or of members, influences of the Federation?
It's just that you forget that, as Varu has said, there is no clear border between the human and the non-human. So humans are the Federation itself. They work through them as organic portals too. That is why everything is so complicated, and that is why they ignore the laws of free will, because they believe they have the right to do what they do for this reason.
Yes, I know, but by humans I mean those who are purely those of Earth, without knowing anything about the Federation. I remake the question. The Illuminati is made up of the members of the Federation who consciously work with the 5D Federation, step-downs, walk-ins, etc., or pure human without knowing the link with the Federation?
It is a mixture of everything. The low Illuminati and deep state Illuminati are mostly human, but the high Illuminati are pure ET in human suits, organic portals, and the like.
Aware of who they are, yes?
Some are not aware. It depends on each one and the degree of involvement. It depends on each one of them.
Why then are they interested in doing satanist rituals and all this? Knowing that you are from the Federation, are you going to want to do this? Comments Robert. It gets complicated. Maybe those are that belong to the human creation, like tulpas and all that. Yes, but they would also be part of the Federation. Or perhaps, at this lower Satanist level, they are sheer human.
Because the Satanist levels are below the Federation, it is what the Federation wants to control and dissolve. For example, those that are the Illuminati White Hats, they are clearly Federation, and they work against the human manifestations that are promoted and accelerated by the regressive Satanist Illuminati, and hence the Christus Anunnaki versus Flesh Mater.
So, high Illuminati are not Satanists.
It depends on how we look at it. Who are those high Illuminati then? It is just that, as there are whites, there are blacks, and they will be of equal strength. We cannot generalize.
Okay, and one thing I don't understand. New World Order, the one with chips and vaccines. That is the New World Order that the Federation wants to impose, based on which later they wish to install holographic society? Or is all this about chips and vaccines another faction? Because it has been said that the Genocide Party are Satanists, and Federation is not that, as explained above. So logic dictates that the Federation does not want New World Order with vaccines and chips then.
Yes, correct. But there is something else. There are two NWO. 1. The horrible Satanist. 2. The Federation one to liberate the Earth. In both cases, it is necessary that there are no countries, a single government, a single religion, and a single currency, whether or not to move them towards a holographic society. Taygeta, for example, has only one government, has no religion, but a belief system, and we no longer need currency, but it is still a globalization. Although in fact the Federation is everything, it allows factions below it and under its control to fight. Charistus Anunnaki versus Flash Mater, for example, out of respect for people's free will, because they want to experience that. But in the end, the Federation is above the regressive and positive.
Asks Robert. But the question would be, the Federation is divided, or is it dividing?
From certain angles or low points of view, yes, it is divided, and that's why there is war. But from above, it is not, and only allows friction below, because they see it as a natural process of ascension of people, races, and souls. It is just that I keep on insisting here. Do not look at things from a single angle. From one point of view, things are one way, but from another more expanded point of view, things are different.
Comments Robert. Okay, but it could be said that the negative faction would be in the lower layers of the Federation and the positive ones in higher layers. I imagine that it is also part of the ascension of the basis of the Federation, like a pyramid structure.
Yes, but the regressive factions are no longer called Federation, and from low positions, from low planes, the Federation fights regressive factions. Fight like shooting and everything, but from above, no.
Thanks. I think then that it is not good that the same name, New World Order, is used for both of these lines, because one can be something positive, but people will already associate it with something bad.
There is a division here between the Federation that I see from here and what Yeshi sees from her point of view. Both are NWO, yes, but as you said, that term already has negative meaning, although the problem is that planetary unification will be seen by people as more invasive NWO, whether or not it is positive. Another problem is that by implementing positive global unification, if regressives are not cleaned up first, they will use that infrastructure of power and thought to distort positive ideas towards negative, regressive NWO. And that's why the war. Because it is something very complex, and there is nothing as a reference on Earth to understand this. Planetary unification is the only way for them to stop fighting.
Ideally, the concept is positive, yes.
The problem is that if the regressives use it, then it becomes a big problem, and those regressives are human manifestations. The concept is positive, but if positive beings build it, so this way it can only be a reflection of people.
Have the Taygetans indicated how to change into a holographic society practically?
Not yet. That will be addressed later, or as soon as possible, but we have that in mind.
Are there any other planets experiencing 3D?
All planets and places in the universe hold a 3D aspect, as they also hold any other density as well. Essentially, there are no densities, and that is only a human concept to try to understand how everything works better. A density depends only on frequency range and of personal frequency range of perception, different and particular to each person.
Is the Federation trying to prevent positive success?
No, the Federation is only doing what it thinks is best for humans and for them. The problem is that many times the best result may not bring immediate good and favorable changes for the humans, more like in a medium to long-term frame. And some things may be positive inconvenient for some groups of humans, but not to others. But in general, the Federation is only doing its best, as are each one of its members.
Has the Federation expressed their thought about this revelation given to us?
Some members see this revelation as dangerous because we are giving too many details and too openly, simply because of the fact that at this point in time, we seem to be the more overt non-humans now.
Who were the ones that left the Federation? Why? Where to? And what are they doing since leaving the Federation?
They didn't leave the Federation. They only left this area. They are still members of the Federation. They went back to their home planets. We cannot know for how long. That depends on each one of the races. There were many who left. I am only at liberty to mention 2 races among the ones that left: Engen, Electra Pleiades, and Urma, Vega Lyra Avalon.
Why they allow logical races to be the leaders on a Lyrian base race like us?
We do not hold the answer to that, perhaps due to internal Federation policies, thinking that they hold an easier, more logical outcome with an objective view. We also seek the answer to that question right now.
If frequency compatibility attracted non-emotional races to run the Federation for the affairs of the Earth, it would be the same for emotional races, right?
Yes, exactly. Therefore, we are here now also helping. We do not want to discredit logical points of view and of proceeding. All we insist and ask is to consider and include emotional parts as well, being that emotional races like ours also see and understand logic within emotions.
Will the Taygetans change, increase their presence on Earth now?
At this time, Taygetans will not increase their presence on Earth, as the crew here now, although small, only 32 people, are more than enough to help, taking in account that what we can do is limited by the Federation itself.
Do the starseeds work for the races, the Federation, or both?
For both, and for whoever the starseeds themselves decide to work with, or for.
How often are the leaders of the 5D Federation renovated?
They stay in their posts as long as they can fulfill satisfactorily their work, and that depends on the perception and interests of the Federation members and their representatives, depending on what they want, need, or expect. They are not replaced because of a term of service ends, because time works differently here.
Is Svaru intervening with the 5D Federation then to move toward our benefit?
Yes, and in ways we still cannot understand as she is working from higher densities, but she is definitely working to alter the way 5D Federation works, making them see where they are failing and what else needs to be revised. Svaru is constantly at work now, and in an independent way, and in favor of Earth and her people.
According to what you at the moment know, what are the best activities and behavior we starseeds should take in order to facilitate a fast and effective total disclosure?
To stand in your own power, decide what must be disclosed. You must take responsibility over your own decisions, what is important and what is not. That is the essence of your work. The starseeds must decide, be proactive, responsible, not wait for instructions directly. You're wise, you must unite, not fight among one another. Same for the humans. Love and integration are the key.
How much is our solar system and our astrological signs affecting everyone in the 5D and above?
Everything is very interconnected. It affects all densities and everyone in them. The answer is that 3D affects 5D and above, as much as 5D and above affects 3D. It is all one frequency mass, no real densities. One mass, only personal perception is what determines what density as such you or anyone lives and perceives.
Federation. If your child asks for poison, you wouldn't give it to them. So why give us wars and cancers and deformities and pain? Because we might ask for it in a fit of rage. It doesn't mean we should have it.
That is exactly the Federation's point of view. The why they want to control the people, and they're having a hard time deciding what to give them and how much. But they also think that if the baby does not experience by itself the ill effects of the poison, then it will never learn. That is their point of view, basically. And we are the part of the Federation, among a few others, of course, that are saying exactly what you are. That experiencing the poison is not necessary.
If Federation is holographic, why they do that to the Taygetan crew?
Because even in a holographic society, when a decision is made, sometimes it cannot be in accordance to the needs and wants, points of view of all, but they decide that one or another way to proceed may be the best plan possible for the situation at hand. Sometimes it must be unanimous, others not so.
Do you know if the 5D Federation could be replaced by other leaders who are more in tune with the humans?
Only if the rest of the Federation concludes that replacing them is the best answer to the problem.
Does the planet have an owner? Gaia has nothing to say in this?
Gaia, from our Taygetan understanding, is a conscious being, but as all conscious beings, its conscience is the sum of all the consciousness that reside in her. This means that what the collective on Earth wants is what Gaia wants. But even in this example, there may be parts within Gaia that do not agree with others, creating conflict inside Gaia. So we could say Gaia is undergoing a heavy psychological change, consciousness change. Gaia in essence is sick. What you do, the people, determines how she will heal. You are her cells. You are her immunity system. Owner, although officially it cannot have an owner, the closest thing to being the owner is the Federation itself.
Is Cobra working with the Federation?
Cannot answer about Cobra at this time.
Where is negative AI in this pyramid of power?
Everywhere. As the main tool of control, it is present at every level. Example, a very poor peasant family in the countryside, but owning a TV set and cell phones.
How do Taygetans feel about taking over the operations for contact and assisting humanity? Also expanding their communications teams to help. More cadets, ships from Alcyone and Taygeta.
If the Federation would allow it, we would take or accept the responsibility. Talking as the crew of and in this very ship. We would expand our crew as needed, but we do not see the need to it at this point.
They said something about an AI, the Red Queen. Is that extraterrestrial AI?
Red Queen is only one of many nodes of planetary control, Cabal-ruled AI, all interconnected, but it is human-made. ET-AI is mostly off-planet, onboard ships.
How can we be them down here if they are non-emotional? Do we lose our emotions as we ascend? How can that be?
Because even the starseeds of non-emotional races are in a human avatar that is designed to make all races in human bodies be as one race. So emotional humans also include starseeds of non-emotional races. Also, many non-emotional races are also curious and want to know what emotions are and what they can learn from them. This is why many non-emotional races enter human bodies, all in search of expansion, other points of view and all. But then, even as the starseeds of non-emotional races, say Andromedan starseeds, while they are human, they will also have a hard time relating and agreeing with members of their race, presently incarnated as original 5D Andromedans. But some starseeds of non-emotional races also keep their non-emotional way of thinking and reacting while they're inhuman, creating other points of view and other sets of problems to resolve.
If it's all based on human elections, if the bad option is vaccines, what is the good choice we are not choosing?
Resolving your conflict with one another, knowing that there are other options to overpopulation that do not include genocide. Understanding that you all live in a lie, as there is no overpopulation. Only your cities are overpopulated, and the rest is propaganda. Nature suffers, but not directly because of the people, but of the mindset of the leaders that in turn come out of the people. What you need to see is that you do not need to rely on your governments to take your decisions. They do not have your best interests at hand. Do not take to the streets and protest for anything, as that is what the cabal wants. But do not comply with regressive and invasive impositions on you. Unity among you is key. Simply do not agree. Do not comply.
So we have to learn to live without the Federation.
No, you must be the Federation.
Why isn't the moon matrix deactivated?
Because deactivating the matrix depends on the perception of the people, not of a device external to the people's perception. You are the key out of the matrix. Lunar frequency is no longer important or relevant.